and is recognizing us as a sovereign peoples, but rather is recognizing us as being an integrated part of Canada, we saw it necessary to be able to see this torch run off of the fringes of our community. That was actually the compromise that we came to, taking into consideration that there is a large amount of people in this community who perhaps don't have or haven't been given the same understanding that we have of this sovereign identity that we are asserting right now. There's a lot of support behind it. And so taking into consideration their position, their feelings, and their opinions, I guess, for lack of a better word, we decided to make the compromise that we did not want it to cross the river and to come into this heart of our territory, but rather to remain on the outskirts of the heart of our territory, the outskirts of this quote-unquote community or reserve. So technically, this torch has already run through our territory. It's already been in the Haldimand Tract. It's in the Haldimand Tract as we speak. But at this time, pending the fact that, we are a few people, strong people, we didn't have the resources to be able to eliminate the torch from our territory as a whole. So we came from the strongest position that we were able to come from, and that was to divert it from this part of our territory where we reside, where we live, where we have our council fire.
And so now they've already announced that they're going to be moving it a little bit, like a few hundred meters down the road. What's your expectation of the way this afternoon's going to play out?
That's interesting question, actually, at this point, because I think that despite being so close to the arrival of this torch, a lot of this logistical information has yet to be fully put into stone. I think that right now what is in stone is that it's not crossing that river. It's not coming into the heart of our territory. And that is a huge accomplishment that we have made with this. That's gigantic that we were able to divert it in that much of a way. Granted, it is only 100 kilometers off. And I think a lot of people here would agree with me that ideally, we don't want to see it at all. We want to see it completely eliminated. I think that we've been putting up as much of a opposition to this as we've been able to put forward. And at this time, I know that there's wishes of some who are present here today to see it diverted even further away from our territory. As to what that's going to look like, I really can't predict.
Is there anything else you want to add right now? I mean, we'll probably talk to you again later this afternoon.
Just that I think another reason why this became such a prevalent issue for us is because some of the strongest support that we saw for our reclamation in 2006 here in Grand River Territory, better known as Six Nations, was from the people, the Indigenous land defenders of the West Coast. Those who are being affected by this massive destruction that these Olympics are bringing to their territories and to their lands. And also to recognize it as well, the inner city Indigenous peoples in Vancouver also suffering from massive devastation as well to not only their housing and their social programs and just basically their human rights. That these are things that we can't tolerate, we can't support. Under our great law, we prioritize land and life, and we feel that all of those things, all of these consequences of Indigenous participation in these Olympics are things that we can't support. We can't tell them how to make decisions. They make decisions for their own people. However, we can stand up and say we can't allow that kind of symbolism to be run through our territory and to be run through here, not recognizing us as sovereign peoples, but rather attempting to mesh us into this Canadian scope of assimilation that I think many of us believe is the intention of even bringing this torch through here. So.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.